If you want me to tell you one thing about the protagonists of Paul Thomas Anderson, let me say that for one, they are completely engrossed in their work, or rather, they are their work. Daniel Plainview is first and foremost and above anything else an allman. He may have his private ambitions and personal pains, but they remain largely overshadowed by the persona that Daniel strives to live by, a meticulous and dominant allman. Reynolds Woodcock is a designer. He tolerates no deviation from his daily routine that he worked really hard to perfect. He seeks absolute control over his day and consequently who he is as a person. He pushes his relationships to other people to the side. He can't be a friend and a lover and a gentleman when work doesn't permit it, because mostly he's a designer and he has no time for other human affairs. Lanchester Dodd is the leader of a religious movement, his identification with that fact going so deep that everyone who knows him simply calls him master. He has effectively become the embodiment of an idea, the idea of a leader. And we only see this image of his slip once. But it's these moments that I think lie at the heart of a Paul Thomas Anderson film, the suppressed human temporarily escaping the prison of his own making. Barry Egan is a moderately successful businessman who obsesses over new schemes to turn a profit. His business is his life. But something underneath is lacking, something to fill his life with meaning. That's when he meets Lena and his world is thrown out of its axis. He's crushed by the anxiety of love. He's desperate and hopeless because he sees that without love, all that by which he strives to live by cannot possibly satisfy him in the way that love can. When he chooses to go after Lena, it's a decision about who he is, not merely a businessman, but also a human. When it comes to that crucial decision for Daniel Plainview, he chooses to essentially remain an allman. Learning of H.W.'s new business, he decides not to look at him as his son, but as his rival. He withers away, his posture becoming almost inhuman. That same hope is given to Reynolds Woodcock through extreme means. Only when he's too ill to work can he grasp onto the more immediate things in life, the care and affection of Alma, that is. He loves her, for by poisoning him, she enables him to temporarily feel, not as an industrious machine of a man, but like a human. The protagonists of Paul Thomas Anderson strive to be something. Gary Valentine, an entrepreneur, Eddie Adams a star, Frank Mack an icon, but beneath there's a deep desire for love, for a connection, for understanding. Perhaps most explicitly in search for a loved one is Doc Sportello, a private investigator who becomes completely engrossed in the disappearance of his ex-girlfriend. But also in search of a connection is Officer Jim Curring, deeply devoted to his profession, but ready to violate the codes in order to strike a connection with Claudia. Essentially, the characters of Paul Thomas Anderson's world are caught up in a twofold search for meaning. They want to self-actualize, they long for a genuine achievement, they want to perfect, to triumph, to dominate. But their demand for self-actualization is so large that it allows no time and energy for genuine connections with other people, which leaves them longing, which necessitates a choice. Are they ready to become the winning man at the cost of the thing that makes life worthwhile? This is my take on the films of Paul Thomas Anderson. If you like this review, please consider subscribing to my channel for similar content in the future, but also consider following me on Letterboxd, where I frequently post short reviews of films that you might find interesting. Thanks for watching.